Well, President Trump did get his big, beautiful bill ahead of his deadline, which was July the 4th, and included in that was the de minimis exemption. Now, that's going to be completely gone by June 2027. Of course, currently China and Hong Kong already do not have that de minimis exemption. What is this going to do? How is this going to be changing supply chains? How is this going to be impacting the various countries that do ship large quantities, not as much as China, but large quantities of these low-cost parcels into the U.S.?
I think it's a major shift. It's a particular problem if you're a small business, because one of the ways that you find new markets now is using de minimis, which is, at the moment, at least for another 2 years, anything below $800 per day can come into the United States without having to deal with very complicated tariff structures, most favored nation, plus all of these Trump tariffs, plus any other tariffs that might be applicable. That's the way that small businesses often enter the United States market, and it's been a very important lever for providing that opportunity for small businesses to access the U.S. and for U.S. consumers and U.S. businesses to find other products that they would otherwise not find because they're small. And once you start adding all of these tariffs on to a lot of small value products, the math doesn't work anymore. So you don't ship those products anymore to the United States. So what it will do is it will limit the opportunities of especially smaller firms overseas to find U.S. markets. It will limit the ability of American businesses, especially small businesses in the U.S. that import unusual products from around the world and then sell it on to their customers. It will limit the ability of American consumers to access the largest number of products from abroad. And I think the net result of that is just, in my view, sad, frankly. But it's also creating additional stresses and strains on businesses for trade compliance. Those costs are going to escalate. And it's likely, I think, if the U.S. is the only country that ultimately eliminates de minimis, a lot of firms that would otherwise continue to sell into the U.S. will also pivot away from selling into the U.S. So it contributes, I think, to the diminishing of the U.S. in global markets, because you will look for alternatives, especially if you are small and trying to sell, I don't know, one necklace, 2 boxes of tea bags, something like that. You'll find a different market.